Hello guys, thanks for tuning in to this guide. Today I'm going to talk about the skills for a wizard between level 35 and 45. Which skills are better, which are worse, so you can become a better wizard, more powerful one. I'm gonna start with the first thing, the primary skills, and the first skill we have is Magic Missile. This skill is much better at later levels since it increases your damage on one target and not on multiple targets. But if you use it, I should pick this rune, the Charge Blast rune. It's probably the best rune for this skill. Now we have Shock Pulse, and I have to say this skill is very bad. It deals low damage and you can't even choose where the electricity goes or so. Don't bother to use this. That's just all I have to say about this skill. Same for the next skill, Spectral Blade. Why would you use a melee skill if you are ranged, if you are a wizard? I don't really know why you would do that, so don't use this one. But then we have a very nice skill, a very good AoE skill, deals loads of damage to multiple targets, and with chain lighting you can even hit more targets at once. So this is my favorite skill for my primary skills. Moving up to the secondary skills, we have Ray of Frost. I use this skill very much. It's so fucking good, deals loads of damage, and with Snow Blast you can even deal more damage when you are focusing on one target for more as 1.5 seconds. But with the Cold Blood rune it also works very well, because it feels like you have unlimited arcane power, unlimited Ray of Frost. It's very nice. I use this later on very much because targets will survive much longer and you will need arcane for other things as well, so I use Cold Blood. Next we have Arcane Orb. This skill is only good at very early levels. It uses a lot of arcane and it's not worth it using it because damage is very low, so don't use this skill. Next we have Arcane Torrent. This skill is very viable if you want to do some AoE damage, but otherwise don't bother using it. Then we have Disintegrate. This skill is very nice actually, looks very cool at least, and with the Conversions rune it's even more awesome. Can deal a lot of damage to multiple targets, but with the Chaos Nexus rune it's also very viable. Then next up we have the defensive skills. Diamond Skin. It absorbs damage you take for 6 seconds. I use Mirror Skin as a rune because it deals the damage they deal to you 50% back, if you know what I mean. So if they deal 100 damage, they get 50 damage back, so it's very nice for targets that deal loads of damage. They might eventually kill themselves. You can also use Enduring Skin. It's very good because you can increase the duration of Diamond Skin for 8 seconds. So if a lot of targets are attacking you, you can survive much longer. Now we have Frost Nova. It blasts nearby enemies with an explosion of ice and frees them for 3 seconds. Yeah, that's a very nice skill, only at early game. And if you want to use this, do it with the Cold Snap rune. It reduces the cooldown of Frost Nova to 9 seconds. Then we have Slow Time. It creates a bubble, and in the bubble targets get reduced movement speed and attack speed, and their projectiles go very slow. If I use it, I do it with Time Warp, so I will deal much more damage. Next we have Teleport. I only see a use of this in PvP, but for PvE, nah, I wouldn't use it. And if you use it, do it with Safe Passage, so you will take 30% less damage after you teleported. Moving up to the Force skills. First we have Wave of Force. it discharges a wave of pure energy that repels projectiles and knock back enemies. Use a forceful waves rune for more damage. Then there is Energy Twister. It unleashes a tornado that deals lots of damage to enemies. For even more damage, use Gale Force. Then there is Hydra. This is a very cool skill, but not really that useful. It summons a Hydra, a multi-headed Hydra, that deals damage, 28% weapon damage as fire. That isn't really that much, but if you use it, do it with Lightning Hydra rune and it will deal a little bit more damage. But here is a imba skill, Meteor. And with a molten impact rune it deals so much AoE damage, so much. This is a very nice skill. I use it all the time. You should use it as well. Just spam it on mobs standing close to each other and they will all die. Now we have Blizzard. Not really a bad skill, but not really an imba skill. But if you use it, do it with Grisping Chill rune. It slows the enemies so you can, for example, run or so. I don't know. We have Ice Armor. Only use it when you need more defense. Same with Storm Armor. But then Magic Weapon. It increases your damage by 10% or by 15% with Force Weapon. So use Force Weapon with it, much better. Then we have Familiar. It summons a little fairy or something like that, a companion that will attack and deals not really much damage, not really worth it using it. Damage is just so low. Energy Armor is again a nice skill for defensive abilities. If you die too quickly, use this skill. Moving up to the mastery skills, we have Explosive Blast, only useful early levels. Then we have Mirror Image, only useful in PvP I think, I don't know. But then the most imbalanced skill in Diablo 3, Archon. This deals loads of damage. With Arcane Destruction you just blast all enemies away. This is just an awesome skill. That's really the skill you need to use always. For the passive skills I use Glass Cannon for more damage and Astral Presence for more arcane power and regeneration of arcane power. And we have I also use Blur. It decreases melee damage taken by 20%. But sometimes I also change it with Evocation, which reduces all cooldowns by 15%. Alright, then we had all the skills for a wizard, at least for the levels between 35 and 45. And I hope to see you in my next video. Be sure to like this video if it helped a bit. And I will see you next time. Later!